So I love the interaction, I love the engagement, keep it coming, but unfortunately we're a little bit over time. So what we're gonna do with the next group of individuals, we're gonna limit the questions to each per candidate, okay? So if you have a question, you gotta be one of two to raise your hand, okay? Okay, so next we're gonna hear from candidates that are running for Sacramento District Attorney. Anne Marie Schubert is a career prosecutor with 24 years of law enforcement experience. As a Sacramento County Deputy District Attorney, she has sent some of the area's most notorious and dangerous criminals, murderers, rapists, and child molesters to state prison. She has also created innovative programs for the DA's office focused on catching killers and criminals using DNA evidence, helping the children of our community by combating truancy, and honoring those citizens who have provided service to justice with the development of an annual Outstanding Citizen Award. One of Anne Marie's passions is the pursuit of justice through forensic DNA. She uses the evidence in cold case prosecution. She formed the DA's cold case prosecution unit in 2002. She has also served on its first prosecutor. She is nationally recognized as a forensic DNA expert. Anne Marie has received the Prosecutor of the Year Award and the Post-ICI Instructor of the Year Award. She's a native of Sacramento. She has attended local schools and is raising her family in the community. Please help me welcome Anne Marie Schubert.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for letting me come and talk to you. And I know we're kind of getting late on lunch hour, so I want to just talk to you a little bit about who I am and why in God's name do you want to do this job? First of all, similar to what many other candidates have said in this room, I absolutely love my job. I've never done anything else other than be a prosecutor. I graduated from law school in 1989 and immediately started as a DA down in the Bay Area. And I say this often, and I would say it every single day, which is if I won the lottery today, I would show up tomorrow because I feel that passionate about the job that I feel so fortunate to have, which is to represent the interests of individuals and to advocate for public safety. Alice kind of gave you a little bit about my background, what have I done, and I want to talk to you a little bit about my background. I also want to talk to you about my vision, and I also want to talk to you about that second part of the question is why do I want this job? First of all, my background. The role of the district attorney in Sacramento County, for those of you that haven't had interaction with our office, is really to go to court, to advocate for victims of crime, but also to make sure that we are a safe community. I am very confident that in this room and across Sacramento County, everybody wants to feel safe in their community. Everybody wants that. And the district attorney of Sacramento County is considered to be the chief law enforcement officer in that community. And with that role, I say this very often, is that we have a tremendous amount of power. But with that power, we have the power to put people in jail for long periods of time. We have power to make decisions that affect people's lives really forever. But with that power demands experience and reason and what I often call a maturity in judgment. And that's where you need a qualified leader as your public safety leader as a next district attorney. Do I have that? Do I feel comfortable saying that? Yes, I do. I can tell you that I've been a prosecutor for 24 years. And some of the things that you need to consider when you're making a decision, when you go to the ballot and you get your absentee ballots is, okay, what's this person's background? What has he or she done? And there's a number of components that you need to look at. One, is that person, have they done trials? Because that's what we do in our role. It's kind of like asking if you want to go make a decision on a healthcare need, and you have a very serious decision to make on who you're going to pick as your next doctor, as your doctor to perform a really serious surgery. You're going to pick the doctor that's done only maybe 5 surgeries, or you're going to pick the doctor that's done over 100 surgeries that has developed that level of expertise. I feel very comfortable with that because I've done over 100 trials. And those include things like rape and child abuse and human trafficking and murder cases. And that matters because what that does for your next leader is that develops that what I call the maturity of judgment, because the citizens of this county are making a decision on the number 1 person, not the number 2 person to say because the number 1 doesn't know the answer. Up until I'm in the homicide unit right now, so I have murder cases that are pending in our county. Some of them are cold cases, some of them are ones that happened here recently in our community. Prior to that, I supervised our child abuse unit for a number of years. And what I will say about that is that as well as murder cases, we have a significant amount of power to make decisions on what's the right answer. Should this person who committed this horrific crime, should this person go to prison for life? Should this person get something lesser? Should this person get probation? It's all of those important decisions that need to be made. And if you don't have that institutional knowledge, that maturity of judgment, and that experience base to make that decision, then you can't exercise it with reason. I've made many decisions where I made a decision that somebody shouldn't go to prison for life because it's not the right circumstances. Or I've made the opposite decision. But that's an important thing. You also need a leader that's got what we call management. 30 seconds. Wow. I got 10 minutes, buddy. Jeez. Okay. Management experience. Our office is the largest law firm in Sacramento County. What's my vision for Sacramento County? I call public safety prosecution, prevention, innovation. There's no question that the role of prosecutors is changing. It's not just about reactionary, where people that commit crime. It's much more about being proactive. That's why over 4 years ago I developed a nationally recognized truancy program. Because like many other people, Rick Jennings, Julius Cherry, everybody has the same message here, which is the key to success is education. And we as prosecutors, who historically have been reactionary, are much more on the forefront now of stopping the pipeline of truancy to state prison, because we all know that needs to stop. And I feel very comfortable that I've developed those innovative programs that we can lead Sacramento, and we can break that cycle, and we can create better lives for our children. And that's exactly why. The other half of the equation of why do I want to do this, because I come from a family of 7 children who all were raised in this community. I have 2 children myself who are going to public schools, and I just want a better, safe place for Sacramento County. So I appreciate the opportunity to listen. Oh, question in the back.
Yeah, so this is an important race because, you know, the person before has held the position for a long time, and when we look at, there's statistics that say, if you look at from since the war, we've gone to war, we've actually had more people who have died at the hands of police than we've had who have died in the war, and we've had situations where, you're talking about it open and barred and things like that, and I've yet to see, I hate to say it, but I rarely see when these cases get publicized that the police are wrong in anything that they've done. And this education piece is really important. I mean, I don't think that anything's changed in this last administration, this last district attorney. Anything's changed in our communities. The communities of color still feel like they're targets. They feel like they can't get a fair shake. So what's going to be different?
I think
by you're getting elected, and I just think that it's a very important issue, because I think that without that collaboration, without that working together in these communities, that really we don't have trust. There's certain communities you drive in, and it doesn't matter where I work, what my position is. I'm a target, and bottom line, I am a target. I see it. I see cops sitting there profiling the car in front of me and running plates. I see it all the time. Why? Because of how they look or whatever it is. And so the reality is, these things need to stop it where we're going to have trust.
There's 2 things that I want to address. One is the issue of officer-involved police shootings. One, as many of you probably know, because of budget cuts, the current district attorney had pulled back on our involvement in those. I have no problem, and I will clearly state that, first of all, I believe in transparency and clarity of purpose. And so what I would do as the next district attorney is fully implement the officer-involved shooting analysis and review, but not just with another lawyer's review, but engaging our investigators so that you have independent oversight. And then I also, for those of you that don't know, our office has a crime laboratory. We have the benefit of that. I would fully engage our crime laboratory, because the fact of the matter is we want the truth. Good, bad, or indifferent, we want the truth, because the public deserves that and the public demands that. So I have no problem saying that's an important component that I will fully reestablish and make sure that that's fully funded when I become the DA. The second component of that is how do we get past this profiling and things like that? To me, it goes back to that same thing that you just said. It's all about education and outreach and oversight, so that we know that if there's any issues with that we're getting out to the community. My goal would be to get out to the community, not just, our role as prosecutors is changing. It used to be, it's reactionary. My goal and what I call the new era and new ideas is to get out of the community long before there's ever any issues where that occurs. Go into the schools, go into the churches, go into community groups, come out to La Familia, and talk about things like the U visa process, so that people understand that they can be protected. If they're the victim or a witness to a violent crime, they don't have to fear law enforcement or the prosecution, and that what we really want is we want people to have a good relationship with law enforcement and the DA's office so that they understand that their rights are being protected. Yes, ma'am.
Do you agree that some of the sentencing laws have gotten a little extreme and out of hand?
You know, there's some interesting sentencing law. I'm a big believer in fairness and consistency across the penal code. You don't really see it a lot. And I'll give you an example. In the state of California, if you shoot somebody in the head with a gun and you're convicted of murder, you can not only get 25 to life for the murder, but you can get an extra 25 to life for the use of the gun. But if you, God forbid, stab your grandmother 85 times to death with a knife, you can get 25 to life, but you only get 1 year extra for the knife. So there's some anomalies in the penal code, and you know, there's inconsistencies. Why do we have methamphetamine can be a lower triad than cocaine? And so I agree that there's time for a conversation to be had about treating people consistently across the penal code. Thank you guys, appreciate it.